All right, joining us now via Skype from Port Harcourt is a gender advocate, Tessy Biobaku. Tessy, good morning. It's nice to have you join us.
Good morning, Mike.
All right, great. Oh, nice to see you. You look great.
Thank you.
Okay, now a lot of people, when it comes to the issue of gender, people have different approaches and different interpretation and different meanings to them. But if we're narrowing down to the issue of violence, gender-based violence, what constitutes a violence against the female gender? Because a lot of people just see it as a battering or, you know, fighting and beating and all of that only. But make us understand, broaden this, paint a picture for us. What really constitutes gender-based violence?
Well, thank you. A lot of things constitute gender-based violence. And to deal with these causes, we need to look at the roots. Naturally, we, as human beings, we're not born violent. It's something that we will learn. And when you learn something, there's a way that could be unlearned. I mean, you find that the society, a society that wants to thrive, must embrace the fact that we must eradicate gender violence, especially against women. I would like to paint a picture of how women are stereotyped. You know, we're caught up with a society where the norms that women are like subordinate to men. Now, if we have an equal gender-based society, looking at an enabling environment, but looking at an enabling economy that would thrive.
All right. Gender-based violence is also said to be a violation of women's rights. And recently we spoke to the director of Office of the Public Defender in Lagos State, and she said that some women actually stand or pose a challenge in the way when she's trying to fight for these rights. I wonder how this comes into the mix. Do women really understand their rights when it comes to issues that has to do with violence?
Unfortunately, a lot of women don't understand their rights, and they need to have more sensitization. They need to have awareness. They need to have this taken care of right from early years. We need to have a target, especially when you realize that adolescents grow up to become adults that might be caught up with gender-based violence. So if we can have an early prevention, I think that would be the best. And again, to have things set in place, especially to educate women, especially the girl child at an early age, to understand their right, to understand that their body and their physical personality is one that cannot be relegated no matter what.
Okay. Tessy, thank you very much for your time on the program.
Well, joining us via Skype from Port Harcourt is a gender advocate, Tessy Biobaku. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on board.
All right, Tessy, we see we have so many NGOs championing the cause of women, especially with regards to issues of gender-based violence. But then let's put it side by side what we saw in the US when we had the hashtag #MeToo movement and how that was pushed forward, and we saw the impact it made. A lot of persons sent to jail. We don't seem to be getting as much of that in this part of the world. What really is the missing link, or what is the challenge?
Well, I think the missing link would be that we're not really looking at this as a very serious issue. We're caught up with the fact that the norm, the stereotype that comes with as women, we should just be there. But if we create more awareness that women are important to the society, and no matter what it takes, we need to fight. We need to make sure that we stand tall and stand strong together to make sure that violence against us needs to come to a stop.
When you
Especially
say
if
fight, how do you mean? I'd like you to expatiate on that, because that is why NGOs like yours have been out there. Are you saying that enough is not being done? You're not championing this cause as it should, or you are not getting as much support as you would expect?
Well, we're championing the cause, but what I would say is that we need more support. We need to have um, laws that are being enacted to be in place. We need to have the government give us support in every way they can. We need to have a collective stand together. You know, the theme for the International Women's Day this year, is a very wonderful one. When you talk about, I am a generational equality. Individually, we have responsibility to make sure that we're able to take care of this and bring it to reduce it. We can't say it can be stopped, but we know that we can reduce this violence against women.
All right, Tessy, the issue of awareness and enlightenment has been on for more than a decade now, focusing precisely on seeing how women can be uplifted. Just like you have said, more has to be done. But you use the word fight. Should it be a fight issue, or it should be an outreach issue? When it comes to the approach, what do you think can fetch more results, the fight or the outreach?
I think both. I think there should be, at this stage, I think we should have what we call, even though subtle, a radical, change of narrative. We need to change the norm with regards to the way women are being viewed. You find out that women have to, even if a woman give input to something more than the men are already empowered. What we are fighting for is not something that it seems out of, is as if it's not something that should be. It's something that is just there. It's our right. It's something that should just be natural, that this is what should be given to us. But the society is caught up with, we are subordinate to the men, and that's not a fair judgment, because we are equal with the men. We are we are very hardworking people. Women are intellectuals. Women, we like it or not, are the bedrock of a society. A society that wants to thrive, a society that wants to succeed, a society that wants to to thrive in a way that,
All right.
it is on the increase. We must look at how we should try collectively to fight against violence against women.
All right, Tessy, Biobaku, we'll leave it at this point. Thank you for speaking with us. Well, joining us via Skype from Port Harcourt is a gender advocate, Tessy Biobaku. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast once again. Now, quickly, as we look to achieve equality and also put an end to gender-based violence, what will be your call to action as we look to celebrate Women's Day come the 8th of March, which is this Sunday?
Well, it's a wonderful thing that we have this sensitization with regards to violence against women to come to an end. And in honor of the celebration of the Women's Day, International Women's Day coming up, I think I will appeal that there should be more sensitization regards to bringing this violence against women to come to an end. Sexual assault, physical violence, traditional things that naturally is not so supportive of women must be looked into. We have a lot of people now. There is the beauty of having to break the silence. Women have found their voice to say, this is what is going on in my life. This is what has happened to me. And I have the right to voice out. Now, we must not demoralize and stop women from having their voice heard by now condemning them or our attitude towards people speaking out. We must look at that attitude, negative attitude to be demystified. We must look at the fact that it's a collective effort from each and every one of us to make sure that violence against women really comes to an end.
All right, Tessy, beyond the issue of voicing to be heard, there are the issues of prosecution where necessary, promulgation where necessary, depending on what issues we're looking at. Now, there are organizations that, you know, special organizations, women in journalism, women lawyers, women engineers, you know, different forum for women in politics and all of that. How much are some of these specialized associations doing to ensure that the rights of the woman is enhanced when it comes to prosecution, or the rights of the women are recognized when it comes to policies and so on?
I believe these organizations are doing their best, but I think there should be more community engagement with regards to a lot of the NGOs. There must be a lot of making sure that in all of this, we must make sure that government is very involved. You know, if they are fully involved, it's going to help the awareness with regards to this to really be on the increase. And to be actualized.
All right, okay. Tessy, Biobaku, thank you so much for speaking with us.
But please, in my ending days, I mean, in my last, let me just say something.
Quickly.
I believe that for this day to be celebrated and for the violence against women to really come to an end, we must look at the fact that as women ourselves, we must have each other's back. We must be there for each other.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tessy.